Hi guys. So okay, this video is very much long overdue. I've been meaning to make this for a little bit, but you guys have no idea the type of week I've had, so let's just get to it. As you can see, I'm in my own apartment. Ignore how messy my room is right now, but yes, I got the unit. So fortunately, that puts an end to my series Homeless and Holeless. Well, I'm still holeless, but I actually prefer to be holeless in my new apartments. I'll be housed in holeless from now on. I remember this comment to name the next series Roach Infested Brothel. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know if that should be the name. Yeah, so now my video diaries from now on are gonna take a different approach. But I also want to use my platform and my momentum to talk about things that are important within being homeless, tips about how to deal with being in the shelter, because I gotten out pretty quickly. I moved into this apartment on the 9th? No, I'm lying. I didn't get my keys until the 7th. But either way, it took me like 2 days to kind of move in because I bombed my house. I was deep cleaning my house. I did not want to be in here until I felt like it was clean. I'm sorry. I did stay at the shelter for 2 more days. And also it was a weekend, I believe. So I don't know if it was, I don't know what, it was a weekend. And so I had to wait till Monday. But long story short, I got my unit. I'm cool. I'm comfortable. Everything's okay. And yeah, as you can see, I can do my makeup like I want to. I'm gonna practice a little. I want to do more extreme looks now because now I got the time. I can now do my hair. This wig is like a year old, so that's why it's a little crusty in the bangs. Now I'm on my floor. I'm on my floor. My room's messy, but I like being on my floor. I don't know, it's very grounding. I haven't been sleeping on the floor. I mean, actually I did. For the first few nights, I was sleeping on the floor and I was sleeping on an air mattress, and then I got my mattress. But ironically enough, it's Black Friday, so this was on sale for like, I think like 40% off. So for this video, I feel like I want to talk a little bit about the process itself, like going through HRA and getting your City FEPS voucher to my knowledge. And I want to preface this by saying this is my experience, because I'm gonna have people saying, oh, well, I went through this and I got it this and this, that, and okay, that's your experience. If you want to put it down in the comments, be my guest. I feel like we need to give advice to everybody who is going through the shelter, going through this process, because City FEPS is the most common voucher put out there for single people. I'm pretty sure there's other vouchers like SODA and CV, I don't fucking remember. And there's the Section 8 waiting list, all that NYCHA. I'm pretty sure there's other options out there. I'm not too educated on the other options. The only ones I'm aware of right now is City FEPS. So the most commonly asked question is, how did I find the apartment? I'm gonna say this right now. Not only is it luck, but it's also being on every single management wait list. Really stress looking up managements and getting on their wait list. They work with people who have City FEPS, they work with people who have vouchers, and they understand the process that it's gonna take. They understand how long it's gonna be, all that. Just as long as your housing specialist and your caseworker is turning shit on time, you should be good. But yeah, my recommendation is to work with the management company, not working with the landlords themselves. I mean, yes, people get lucky with the landlords themselves and, you know, they end up, getting their apartment through the landlords themselves if they're patient enough. But a lot of landlords are not patient, and they will dub you. They will dub you and they will be like, nah, bro, like, I'm not gonna wait for this city's cash and then you're gonna become my tenant. Like, this is how they're thinking. They're thinking like, oh, like, if I give this person with like City FEPS or any voucher or whatever, the city's gonna be on my ass, and then I gotta wait like months for my check. Like, I gotta wait weeks for my check. I don't wanna wait weeks for my check. I don't wanna do that. So the best course of action is to go through the management companies, because they already understand this is routine. They understand how DHS is. They understand how, HRA is, especially HRA. HRA takes their sweet fucking time doing shit. But even with the management companies, sometimes they will drop you too. But they're less likely to do it than like your favorite private or neighborhood landlord. With that being said, the day that you sign the lease is not always the day that you move in. And I want to preface it by saying that because I know I got a couple of baddies in there that are antsy. They're like, I just signed my lease. When am I moving in? You're not moving in until everybody gets their checks. Simple as that. Unfortunately, I mean, if you had cash, it'd be different. You can move in the next day. But if you have a voucher, it's gonna be a little while before you know, because HRA got to approve of things. DHS has to approve of the apartment. When DHS approves of the apartment, they send that off to HRA. And then HRA, there's 2 levels to cutting the checks. They got to approve of this first with their base level team, and then their supervisors, which is level 2, they have to approve of it as well. And once both parties approve of it in HRA level 1 and level 2, then that's when the checks get distributed and everybody gets their money. You get your furniture voucher and you can buy your furniture. But yeah, I'm talking a little far ahead. So the beginning of the process is going to be very antsy. When you first get into the shelter, the first thing I would recommend you do is get a job. If there's anything I will tell you, get a good job. Because I had a job that was very event-based, and that was not so good because with City Feps, you need to have at least 10 hours a week. If you don't have at least 10 hours a week, then you don't really qualify for City Feps like that. And HRA is going to kind of look at your hours and be like, oh, you're not working enough for me, babes. Like, you need to work. So that was my situation, really, the whole pay stub situation. But yeah, make sure you get a job that, it's gonna sound weird, that doesn't pay too much, but doesn't pay too little either. And usually part-time jobs will do it. I mean, if you have a full-time job, I mean, you can still do that way, but you still gotta be conscious of how much you're making, because a lot of times, HRA will say that you're making too much money. Yeah, just be mindful of your hours. Honestly, listen, when you get the apartment, you get locked in. Even if you lose your job or you get more hours at your job or whatever, that doesn't matter until I'd say about 3 months before recertifying. I'd say watch your hours. I would say not to make too much money, because once you make too much money, then they're gonna be like, shorty, you can pay the rent. Even though you can't pay the rent, but they're gonna be like, you can pay the rent, you can pay the rent, you can pay the rent. We're not gonna help you no more. But yeah, I'd say like 2 to 3 months before you have to recertify. Watch your hours. You can make less. Honestly, they'll just help you out. They'll help you with your household share and everything. But I'm pretty sure you can. Like, even if you don't have a job or anything like that, they're just going to be like, okay, we'll just pay your portion, all that. But if you do have a job and you're getting paid like a lot to them, they will revoke your voucher. They'll be like, you're making too much money, sweetheart. Another thing I like to talk about, because a lot of people want to be like, oh, I don't want to work a shitty job. I don't want to do this. I mean, you don't have to, but at the same time, you got to understand, living in New York City is not easy, gang. It's not easy. All right. That's why when you're working with these systems and these things, you have to kiss a little ass. You got to do that. And I hate to admit it, until you are self-sufficient on your own, until you can pick up a full-time job that will pay you enough to live these outrageous prices, or until something changes with the rent, like there's more stabilized rent, because $2,300 for a studio is a little crazy. But until that changes, you're gonna have to kiss a little ass, because not for nothing, Lord knows I am not gonna stay in this predicament where I'm renting for the rest of my life. I do want to own a home. Don't want to stay in New York City for the rest of my life, but everybody starts somewhere. Unfortunately, you have to start with kissing the system's ass. You gotta know the rules to break the rules. That's how I view it. I don't view it as me being stuck to something for the rest of my life, because eventually I'm gonna get it together, but this is a stepping stone. You gotta think of it as a stepping stone. So until something with the laws changes, until something with these prices of living, until something like that changes, you know, I'm not trying to say succumb to it. Listen, if you feel like you can, if you feel like you can overcome, if you feel like you're bigger than the program, be my guest. Go ahead. But for a lot of people are stuck in survival mode. You want to get out of the shelter, you're gonna have to work with the system, unfortunately. But a lot of times, even working with the system, I can understand why people wouldn't want to do it, because at the end of the day, it really is luck. It really is luck. But not only is it luck, it's also putting yourself in the right position to get lucky. You can't get lucky, or you can't have an opportunity to get lucky. Like, say, okay, you got an apartment, you got approved for something. Do you have your voucher? Do you have your, information? Do you have your pay stubs? Do you know, is your housing specialist on top of shit? Like, even if you do get the opportunity and you get lucky, you get this opportunity, you get this apartment, do you have your paperwork together? Do you even know what paperwork you need to have together? Another thing I want to mention too, there's going to be a period in which, you do lock something in, okay? Let's put that in the air. You're going to lock something in. You're going to get an apartment. You're going to have everything right. And the paperwork is going to be moving ever so slowly. Your case manager's talking slowly, like she's moving slow. Your housing specialist is moving slow. I need you to stay calm. Because whatever the outcome is, the worst outcome, the worst case scenario, you lose the apartment. You lose the apartment, you got to find another one. Yes, that is very disheartening to hear about, and it's not easy. Like, I think I lost one apartment before I got this one, okay? Sometimes it's a blessing, because apparently that other apartment that I was going to rent to, it wouldn't have passed inspection anyway. There was mold in there, okay? And it was black mold, to be specific. But that was a blessing in disguise. Rejection, sometimes you gotta transmute the energy. You gotta transmute it into something positive. Rejection sometimes is protection. But I know it's hard to think of it like that because when you're in the shelter, you're sitting on that fucking bed with other bitches in the room. You're like, oh my fucking God, I need to get the fuck out of here. I need to get the fuck out of here. I get it. I have been there. I've been laying up at night like, I can't stay here. But you know what? That is good. That is good. Let me tell you something. You don't want to get comfortable there. And that's another thing I will say too, like as far as the emotional and the what you call it, the things you can control. Do not get comfortable in the shelter. Don't get comfortable and all that. Like, I was cool with my roommates. All my roommates were relatively normal people. There was only one crash out in the room, but other than that, she was barely there. Once she got a job, she wasn't even there to bother anybody. But aside from that, all my roommates were normal. And yes, I was safe. Everything was good, but I wasn't comfortable. I never got comfortable with them. I mean, I would never say that to them. I would never be like, oh yeah, nah, I fuck with y'all. No, like, I never got comfortable with them. Like, I was cool with them. I was cool with them. Like, I would talk to them. They're awesome people, cool individuals. I never got comfortable. Every day, whether in my head or even out loud sometimes, I would say, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm getting the fuck out of here. We're getting the fuck out of here. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting the fuck out. I'm getting out of here. And very much that is the energy you need to have. And I know, yes, like that's mentally straining, but at the same time, it's momentum. It's momentum that you are not comfortable there. And when your body's not comfortable somewhere, your body's going to do whatever it takes to make sure it's in a safe place where your nervous system isn't acting up so much. So when you're comfortable somewhere, you're going to stay comfortable there. That's why I say don't get too friendly with your roommates or whatever. Or if you are going to get friendly for the sake of being cordial and everything like I did, keep in mind you're not going to be there for, because even when I was about to move out and I was about to get my apartment, I never told anybody my process. I didn't tell, and oh, that's another thing. Bad juju is a real fucking thing. I don't care how close you are with your roommates in the shelter. I don't care how much you fuck with them, whatever. Okay, do not tell them if you find an apartment. Don't tell them if you got approved. Lie. Be like, oh yeah, I'm still waiting for them to call me back. I'm still on waiting list. This, that, and the third. Let them believe that you're not, you don't got nothing going on for yourself. Let them believe that. They'll leave you alone. Believe me. Like every time my roommates would ask, what's going on? Did you find anything? Did you call the numbers? No, I didn't call them. I'm at work. No, I didn't. I don't even want to call the numbers. Matter of fact, I want to stay here for the rest of my life. Lie. Because let me tell you something, maybe they don't have, like, not for nothing, specifically my roommates, they didn't really have a personal vendetta against me. As a matter of fact, they actually understood why I didn't say nothing. They understood. But none of them had a personal vendetta against me. It wasn't that. It's bad juju, okay? When you tell someone something's going to happen, especially something in that type of environment where everybody's trying to find housing, everybody does not want to be in the shelter. When you are talking about, oh, like, I found something, it invokes a feeling in other people, and that energy will rub off on you and fuck shit up. Now everything's fucked up, okay? So if there's any major advice I'm going to tell you, and if there's anything you could take away from this video, if you're sitting in a shelter right now as we speak, if you're in a New York City DHS shelter or a shelter anywhere, but specifically New York City DHS shelters, don't tell nobody about your housing process. I don't give a fuck if that is your best friend. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how close y'all are. I don't give a fuck if y'all sisters. I don't give a fuck if y'all been in the shelter together for 10 years and you done fucked each other's niggas. You done passed out. I don't give a fuck how close y'all bitches are. Don't tell them your housing process. Because even with me, personally, I would even have moments sometimes where I'd be in there and I hear somebody left. And in my head, I'm like, damn, I wish that was fucking me. Like, I wish that was me. And that I wish that was me energy, I'm sure a bunch of other bitches in there felt the same way. And all that energy, if the girl that left would have said something before she left or whatever about, oh my God, I got my apartment, this, that, and that, I got approved, something would have happened. Don't speak it out of existence, okay? Because yes, you can speak shit into existence, but you could also speak stuff out of existence. The only reason my roommates know I left and everything like that, well, for starters, I wasn't there anymore, but they also knew I left because I posted it on my Instagram when I got my keys and I was finally in the apartment and I locked my door and locked I blocked both locks, the ghetto key lock that you put, the chain lock. I locked the other lock, closed the door, put the slam lock on, all that. Looked at my keys and said, I'm here. This is my shit now. And I put one article of clothing in here too. And then I saged the entire place down. Then I hit record and I was live. And then I didn't even post the live until 2 days after I was moved in and I already had all my shit in here. I didn't post that live that you guys see on my Instagram story now I didn't post that shit 2 days after I moved in because, again, I was really scared of that bad juju shit. And the only people that should know about your housing situation is everybody that's working on it. Another thing, too, and I'm speaking from personal experience, cut the relationships out, not the friendships. You want to keep friends. You want to keep your real friends. And for sure, this entire process that you're, going through this, you're going to figure out who's real and who's the fuck is not. You're going to lose friends that you didn't even expect. Like, so blindsided by this. Like, you're just like, I was so sure I could clock T. It's just a whole new level of eye-opening. Like, half the people that don't fuck with me now, I would have never guessed how fucking envious and jealous they were until they was kicking me while I was down. On that note, your little boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, you might lose them. You even bet 99.9% of the time you're going to lose your boyfriend. You're going to lose your girlfriend, you're going to lose your boyfriend because they're just not going to understand. You're either going to lose them because they're embarrassed to be with you. You're going to lose them because they're just not meeting your emotional needs because they can't help you much because they probably don't understand that, unless you guys are homeless together. I mean, that's a different story. I mean, y'all can go to fucking Path, I think, get you a fucking 1-2 bedroom. A lot of these people, a lot of your girlfriends, your boyfriends, especially the boyfriends, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of niggas, especially in New York City, they don't stick with you through thick and thin. They probably fucking another shorty and your fucking curfew is at 11 o'clock. Yeah, you're not going to keep that boyfriend more than likely, and you need to be prepared to lose your partner. Honestly, I was in a relationship when I first got homeless, and not even like 5 days after I got homeless, that nigga was trifling. I gave up on it quick because I'm like, nigga, I'm not dealing with that. I was more concerned about my housing situation than a fucking relationship. I'm like, you could just go. All right, I got too much I'm stressed about. I don't give a fuck about you right now. You're the least of my fucking worries. And you might lose a nigga or 2 or 3 or however many you have. Lose a couple of bitches that used to be your friends. You might lose people. You're gonna lose a lot of friends. That's okay. They're gonna talk shit about you. They're gonna talk mad shit about you. Your ears gonna be fucking ringing off the chain, nigga. Like, it's crazy. And you know what's crazy about that is now that I got my crib, half those people that were talking shit about me, that I know were talking shit about me because, me being as popular as I am, I'm not trying to gloat my clout and be like, oh yeah, I'm popping. Like, no, but as known as I am, respectfully, people tell me when people are talking shit about me. So if you were talking shit about me, I know. Fuck you. Your friend, yeah, she was talking shit about you. Here's the screenshots. I was getting hey girlied. I wasn't even in a relationship. And I was getting hey girly from my friends that I thought were my best friends, that I thought were my bitches. Like, when now them same bitches is contacting me, talking about some, yo, when's the housewarming party? Bitch, I'ma grab a fucking leather belt, stick spiky studs to that shit, pour that shit, lube it up with gasoline, and light that shit up and beat your ass with. That's the fucking housewarming. I'ma warm that ass. Now all of a sudden your mother kicked you out. Yeah, you gonna get, when you get to the end of this, and I wanna rest assured everybody that's having everybody talk shit about them right now, that they're in the shelter, whatever, I wanna rest assured that all the people that were talking shit about you, once you get your crib, all of a sudden they want a housewarming party. All of a sudden they fucking parents kicked them out. Can you help them? No, you can do what I did. The same shit you was making fun of me about. March your ass to the DHS shelter or go to home base and get it the fuck together. California's right up there. Your ass a little gay. I know. Your ass was a little gay when I was with your ass, but I dealt with it because I was like, you know what, maybe he a little different. Nah, nigga, you gay as fuck. So since you so gay, go to California. Tell them niggas you got nowhere to live. They'll give you a bed and a caseworker. Keep hammering this point down because I want people in the shelter right now to not let your living situation define you, because I did. I was going through the worst fucking mental break of my life, and the people that have saw that, I am so sorry. I know it is hard to hear, but just understand there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and once you get that crib, once you get your motherfucking keys, oh, it's lit. But yeah, once again, do not let your housing situation define you, okay? Do not let it, because a lot of times it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You're not lazy. It's not you, okay? I understand you feel antsy, like, damn, I don't even got a job. You're going to figure it out. You're going to do it. If you in New York City, you're going to figure it out. Now, I do want to make more videos like this, so guys, let me know if you have any questions below. If you guys have questions below about housing, about anything, I will answer to the best of my abilities. I will make videos in the future more about this, because I feel like, I want to help my youth out, because not for nothing, a lot of the people that was in them shelters were my age. They were my age. I barely saw anybody over 30 in there. homelessness crisis in New York City for the youth is fucking terrible. It really is. It really is bad. Anybody has any resources, list them in the comments below. If anybody has any questions, I will answer them to the best of my abilities in the next videos, in the comment sections, whatever I can do to help. I do want to bring awareness about this type of thing. Get this out there, get the message out there, because again, this is a real issue and we can't be having this. I wouldn't wish what I went through for my worst enemies at all. So again, leave a like, comment, follow me, subscribe, and bye.